Stevens with the BroncoStevens channel on YouTube. I've been on in a couple days, had to travel. In fact, I'll give you a little quick look around here. I'm actually at the airport right now, getting ready to go home. So I'll be back to making videos and coming live with you daily. But funny thing, on the way here, so I'm flying. Airports never take you just, well, I always never, because a lot of times I do, but often when I fly, I've got to fly somewhere else to a bigger airport where they put me on a plane and then fly me to where I'm actually going. So on the way, I was going to Cincinnati to see my mom, and so on the way there, I was flying. I had to stop at O'Hare in Chicago, and I guess there was some bad storms, because one of the new things I like to do as an old guy is fall asleep on a plane. And so, I always thought that was weird. Like when I was younger and I'd get on a plane and there'd be people sleeping, I'm like, how do they do that? One, you're flying thousands of feet up in the air, and two, you're like jam-packed in there like sardines. How do you fall asleep? And then I got to be 50 years old, I figured it out. You're just tired all the time. So, plus it's just a good way to pass the time. When you're young, flying's fun, and when you're old, it's just another one of those things. You're just like, I gotta fly. And so I'm asleep on my way to Chicago O'Hare, and the pilot gets on. It wakes me up, because it's not often that a pilot gets on while you're flying anymore. He's like, yeah, you may have noticed I've slowed the plane down quite a bit. And I'm thinking, well, how the crap would I notice that? I don't have a speedometer in front of me. You can't really feel like when I'm in a plane going 500 miles an hour through the sky. I don't really have any feeling of that. I'm in a capsule. But he comes on. He's like, you may have noticed we've slowed down quite a bit. He said they're having tornado or watch or a chance of tornadoes, and they cleared the ground crew in O'Hare. And so he's saying we're kind of stuck in a holding pattern. And the pilot's like, I've got 45 minutes of fuel. We can kind of just like hang out, and they're going to let us know whether we're going to move forward or just be diverted and go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, this sucks. And so I'm already thinking I'm going to miss my next flight, because, they book you with just enough time to hop off a plane and walk down and go to your next one. And so he says we have 45 minutes of fuel to kind of hang out. Well, then he hops off, and I'm watching the time go by, and it's about an hour later he gets back on and says, hey, it's still a mess there. They still have the ground crew evacuated for a couple more hours. We're going to go ahead and divert to Kansas City. And I'm thinking, well, you just said you had 45 minutes worth of fuel, and now it's been an hour, and now we're having to go somewhere else. So I'm like, are we going to like coast in on fumes and stuff? So, I don't know. I don't fly a whole lot. Maybe this is common. But I'm like a little nervous. I start texting my family and stuff, and I'm like, hey, the guy said we only had so much fuel when he's past that. Now we're going to Kansas City. So I'm thinking we're going to fly in on fumes or whatnot. And so it was interesting. It was a hassle, let me tell you. And then we land, and we're sitting on the plane, and I'm like, now what? I'm in a whole different area than where I was heading. And so I know I'm like screwed at this point. Like I know that my next connecting flight's not going to happen. And so they tell us to get off the plane and to hang tight for about 2 hours. And 2 hours goes by, and then they say it's going to be like another hour. Then finally they cancel the flight. Anyways, big deal. So traveling's fun, people, let me tell you. So, but here I am on my way. Going to be heading back home, and just want to let you all know that if you wanted where I've been, I was just visiting with my mother. I don't get to see her very often, and so I haven't had much opportunity to make content or anything. But I've had some stuff happen, so I've got some things that I'll be doing this week, talking about and whatnot. And having some, I've always got weird ideas popping in my head, so gonna do that. Gonna do some of the ideas I've had this week. But this is neat. If you haven't been out and seen these, now Lego has its own vending machine, if you will. So, if you're out and about and you forgot your Legos at home, they got a solution for that. They got a solution for everything these days, people. I'm telling you, you can get Legos from a vending machine. Who knew? So anyway, I don't know if anybody's even out there. It's quiet out there today, but I guess that's what I get for going live in the middle of the day. You know, I'm sure you people are working and driving and all the other stuff that we do. And so, but I just want to get on here and tell you that I haven't forgot everybody. Just been busy. Autumn, hello. Thank you for saying hi. Thought maybe I was talking to myself this whole time. But that's fine. I mean, you know how the airport life is. You're stuck in the holding pattern. They tell you to get there early. They get you all stressed out. You got to get through security and all that mess. They tell you to get there like 2 hours early, and then you get through in like 30 minutes a lot of times. And then so you're just hanging out. You got your first light. Thank you, Autumn. I appreciate that. I don't know if you subscribe to the BroncoStevens channel. We're having a little one-on-one sesh here, Autumn, feels like. But the BroncoStevens channel is a comedy channel that I do. And I'm a dad. I've got 6 kids. And so I have a bunch of content about family life and stuff like that, just being a dad. And I also have different characters and personalities that I've developed. I've got like this old man where I'm like an angry man doing rants. Excuse me, airport, I'm trying to do a live here. If you can keep the overhead noise to a minimum, I would appreciate that. People, no respect. Don't they know that I'm trying to converse with you all, and then they're on here trying to make some kind of airport announcement? What's that all about? Nobody cares, people. Okay, anyway. But yeah, I do comedy stuff. I do a lot of comedy songs. I'm a singer-songwriter at heart. And I don't have a guitar with me, but usually when I go live, I'll have my guitar and I'll do some original material or some comedy songs and skits and things like that. I'm also big into trying to spread joy and laughter because the world is a dark and creepy place a lot of times. And so, as a dad of 6, I'm trying to make the world a happier, friendlier place to raise my children. And so I do a lot of goofy videos. I do a lot of stuff that like. The me of 5 years ago would look at it and be like, dude, don't publish that. Nobody needs to see that. But now I'm a little older, a little more secure, a little bit more, it is what it is. You're not you can laugh at me, with me, whatever you want to do. It's fine. I'm just out there trying to make people laugh and smile. That's kind of my mission on here. And so a lot of it I do through music, through skits and things like that. 14 Sprite, hello to you. I don't know about that one. That's an odd one. Got hello to you as well. Collapse planned for the end of August. Well, thank you for the heads up on that. I don't follow I don't follow the news a lot because it's kind of depressing. But I do follow what's going on. I try to keep my pulse on the world, and I don't know. It's a scary place sometimes, but I try not to dwell on it too much. My mission more is to spread happiness and joy. What is my name? Well, my channel name is BroncoStevens, and that's what I go by. I try to keep my personal life personal. If you dig in hard enough, I've slipped up and said it in some videos, I believe. You can, if you're a real fan of detective, you can crack this case. You might hear my wife in the background while I'm doing a live say my name. But anyway, do I like the Broncos? I'm not a big sports fan, to be real honest with you. I know as a dude, that can be like, dude, you're not into sports. I've always been just more of the creative type. Like I like to write and sing and things like that. I've never been huge into sports, and the sports that I have been a fan of are more individualized sports, like where it's like one-on-one versus like team sports. So hopefully that's not disturbing to you. But anyway, Amden Robinson Express says hello. Hopefully I got that right. Yeah, your dad likes the Broncos. That's cool. I get that a lot with the BroncoStevens name. The BroncoStevens, I developed that name probably 30 years ago. I had a band. It was an all-original band, and we used to do like the bar scene and stuff, and play all the bars around the Cincinnati area. And it was a good time. And so that's where BroncoStevens came from. I made up the name then, and I just kind of carried it into this YouTube thing. Always wanted to pursue something bigger. I felt like as a creative person, I wanted to do something with just my thoughts and ideas and get them out there to the world. So that's what I'm doing now with the YouTube. I'm showing people some of the songs I've had. I'm finishing songs I wrote like 30 years ago. But I've had, like I said, 6 kids, and that takes a lot of time. And so for years and years and years, I'd pull out a guitar, and the kids would walk over and put their hands all over it, and you couldn't finish a song because, they're so intrigued by the guitar that they're like, they want to play it. And so I just would give up. Like I'd get a guitar out, and they'd be all over it, and I'd be like, I can't even do this. This is too chaotic. And so now I'm at the point where I'm a little more settled down, a little bit more free time, and I escape to my garage a lot of times. I built I call it a studio. It's not a studio. It's a wall of totes with a drape over it, and you'll see me going live on there a lot. It's like a checkered green and white backdrop, and I'll escape out there and just create content, create songs and things like that, and that's what I do now. Elope to write to. Okay, you like to write too? That's awesome. Yeah, I think I like to create. I think we're all meant to create something. I think we all have special gifts, and in one way or another, and we're supposed to use them. And so lately I've been trying to develop my skills a little bit more and take things more serious. But I get ideas super fast. That's I think I have ADHD or something, because I'll jump from one idea to the next, and a lot of times I don't even finish something completely. Like I'll get something 75% of the way done and then move on to something else. And I've been thinking about that lately, as far as like, what I want to do musically. And I don't know if I want to finish things myself or just become a songwriter and develop the concepts and hand them off to somebody that's more into polishing and finishing stuff. Because I'm real good on the front end as far as like developing the concepts, and I can move really fast on that. I can write a song a day. That's not a problem. But finishing it is my problem, and it's just I don't have the chops on the guitar, and things like that. And so I'd love to work with some people. If anybody out there is a serious like finisher, like has the equipment and the discipline to take something and develop it and finish it, that's what I need, because I'm great on the front end, just making the concepts and getting it almost done and then stopping and jumping to the next idea. That's just the way my brain works. And so, again, people, this is BroncoStevens from the BroncoStevens channel on YouTube. I'm going live today. I run a comedy channel, and I don't have a lot of funny stuff going on right now because I'm at the airport. And I'm not in the funny mood, I guess. I thought about getting on the little walking things that are in the middle of the airport. And because I always feel like I'm the bionic man, when I'm walking on those things, you know what I'm talking about? When you're going through the airport and you got those little things on the ground, they're like an escalator, but they're flat. And you walk on them, and you just like, if you're young, you're like, what the heck is this guy talking about? But when I grew up, there was a show called The Bionic Man. And whenever he would do something bionic, it would make that noise. At least I think it was that show. I could be confusing it with the Hulk. But anyway, let's see. I'll tell you what. I'm going to walk you down one of these things. Maybe you've never been to the airport and seen one of these. Okay, so this is it. I'm flat here. And what I like to do is get going real fast on here and pass somebody that's like walking not on one. But she's too far ahead. I'm not going to catch this lady. No. Anyway, people, I have successfully now been with you all for about 15 minutes. And I'm going to wrap it up, because what I don't want to do is get on here and miss them calling my boarding. And then I'm like, get off the live, and I look over and my plane's all closed up. So I want to thank you all for spending a few minutes with me today. I just wanted to get on and let people know where I've been, because I've been traveling, visiting with my mother, and I will be back home later today if all goes well, if I don't get diverted with any weird storms or stuff like that again. And then I'll be able to get back into my daily routine of making content for you and doing the lives daily and such. And so look for me on YouTube. If you haven't subscribed to BroncoStevens, please do. I've got a bunch of playlists you can dive into, mainly comedy. The original song playlist will be serious songs, but the rest of it's just comedy stuff and skits. And so check it out, dive into a playlist. If you want to interact or comment on videos, I'm really good about responding, because I'm not huge. I mean, I'm just a little guy. And so I've got time to interact with my people, and I appreciate your engagement. So you'll have a blessed day, and I will see you again soon. This is BroncoStevens saying, have a good day. I'm out. He's a dad. Signing off. Banana.